Before the close of the spring semester, over 100 representatives from various UVA constituencies gathered in the Dome Room to discuss the Virginia student-athlete experience.
It was presented to me as a way to just build a stronger relationship between the student athletes and the faculty here. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar professors, and I think there's a stigma out there that professors kind of judge athletes a certain way. And honestly, in my opinion, it hasn't been like that for me. I think they recognize the role that student athletes play here as stewards of the university. You know, we represent them on the national stage all the time. And I think they realize that and they want us to do well. And it's just all about the student athletes having the confidence to, you know, seek out that relationship.
What the event did, in my opinion, was disarmed everybody and just made it fun. I do think it bridged the gap. I think it was a great way for the faculty to get with not just the athletes but the coaches too in an environment that was nice and relaxed, and I thought that was it allowed for some organic dialogue that I think was pretty cool. I think they have to be open. I think they have to aggressively pursue relationships with great mentors and great leaders, and they have to be open to, just like I said, people that are from different backgrounds than them, the people that may have never seen the inside of a wrestling room. So what? That doesn't make them a bad person, right? We used to think that. We used to think like, how they're not like us, they're not like us. Instead of having that separation, have community. I'm trying to, the quote I referenced from Dr. Ravi Zacharias was community and diversity. That's what I want to see within the four walls of our wrestling room, but then also here on grounds.
I've had the privilege of knowing athletes outside of the classroom, and especially working with the golf team and some of those other teams, you understand that these are students who are spending so much time in practice and doing all of those other things that are required of them. I think it's really important for the faculty to understand that being an athlete isn't a protected class. It's about a group of people who are doing something in service to the university as well as in service to themselves. We have 700 scholarship athletes, and maybe 10 of them will go and do something professionally. So the rest of them are ours to teach and to turn into great adults and have this great experience at UVA.
Keynote speaker Mark Edmondson, university English professor and author of Why Football Matters, My Education in the Game, detailed the relationship between athletic and academic pursuits. Additional speakers included Micah Kaiser, Steve Garland, and NCAA champion Henry Wynn. Sharing differing perspectives from various areas proved valuable.
His speech resonated with me a lot because of Coach Mendenhall and what he preaches about. And, you know, we always talk about here deliberate practice, practice how you want to play in the game. If you want to be a good, student, you need to put the work in. It's not just going to happen over time. Put the work in like you would on the football field. So practice, do your homework, seek extra help, and you need to be a sponge to really soak things up. And then so when it's time to perform, you can do that. And so I thought those went hand in hand, and yeah, it was great being able to show the relationship between athletics and academics. There's resources everywhere, whether it be at JPJ, through your academic coordinators, through the faculty on grounds. There's just so many people that are here to help you. You just need to go find it and you need to use it.
When I got here, I learned how to compete. I learned how to survive. I learned how to develop new relationships. I learned how to interact with different people. I learned how to communicate. These are all things that happened through my experience at Virginia, and he was relating that back to his experiences with sport. And so now as a 40-year-old man, I can look back and say, gosh, these professors, now I understand.
And that's what I liked so very much about what Mark Edmondson said, what Coach Garland said, and especially what the students said, including the messages in the videos. Like watching Zed, I spent a lot of time in the drama department, and I have seen him backstage. It did not occur to me that he was an athlete. It was not something that came up, but I saw those scenes with him in it, and I was like, this is what being a UVA student athlete is, that there is so much more going on, and how can we really understand the integration of making athletics be no different than being in the drama situation or being in an a cappella group or those sorts of things. Listening to the student athletes that spoke that day was so inspiring and wonderful, and you just wanted to go and hug them, and those sorts of things really resonate with faculty.
Faculty, students, and coaches hope to build upon the foundation of the symposium to improve relationships on grounds and the overall experience of the Virginia student athlete.
When I was done, I reflected on the event. It hit me, oh my goodness, I had an opportunity to speak at one of the most iconic buildings of any institution of higher learning in the entire country. What an amazing thing. And it's beautiful in there. Like, I hadn't seen it ever as a student athlete. I never went inside the Rotunda. I pointed at it a lot and showed my mom on graduation day, but I never went inside it. It was a trip. You need to soak those moments in. Those are great moments that you've been blessed with. You better enjoy it. You couldn't have a better place to do any event, I think. It was awesome.